Hello, 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 gamers and future content creators. My name is Jordan. I am 23 years old. One of my very first memories is getting Pokemon Yellow for my little pink Game Boy. If you don't know me, I go by Alexis Jordan 98 on Twitch. I stream just chatting, Valorant, all types of games. I also post very cringy TikToks if you were wanting to check those out. And I'm the very proud creator of the Big Women in Gaming podcast that you are listening to right now. We're going to take a deep dive into the careers of some of the most inspiring women in gaming and see what led them to where they are today. So maybe one day we can be just as successful as them, or maybe even try to avoid some of their downfalls. Before we get into today's subject, I'd like to introduce my beautiful, amazing co-hosts. Can you please tell me a little bit about yourself and where we can find you?
Hi, my name is Sammy, or Jammy as my favorite people like to call me. I'm 26 years old. I've been playing video games my whole entire life. Some of my favorite games are like Ninja Gaiden, Far Cry, Fallout, you name it, I play it. But yeah, I have a dog, I have three cats, and I live with my lovely girlfriend. You can find me over on Twitch. I stream at twitchtv.samjambro. Sometimes I stream games like Valorant, Detroit Become Human, Phasmophobia, a little bit everything.
Hi, my name is Haley. I'm 22. I think I started streaming like 2018. I started off with just chatting because I did not have a PC. Now I'm a variety streamer, but I mostly play Valorant. And my Twitch is Lil Pixie, but my other social medias are Little Pixie Core.
And what do you think is like your favorite video game, Haley?
Tetris. It's not.
Tetris. I
It's not a.
like that.
It's not a video game, but it's my comfort game.
No, it's a
Aw,
yes, it's
that's
definitely a video game. That's
cute.
a great answer. I love that. One of my good friends, his favorite game is Tetris, like 100%.
That's crazy. I actually got offended the other day because someone compared Valorant to Tetris. He was trying to be like, "Oh, is that a mobile game? Are you playing like Tetris?" I was like,
Oh my god.
"But it's so funny to say that that's your comfort game." I was more, I was more of like a Sudoku player, you know?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I
you.
hate
Yeah,
that game.
yeah.
I'm so bad at it.
Oh my god, I love it. Well, you've heard enough about us. Now let's get into the person that you guys came here for. Valkyrae. Rachel Hofstetter, who actually turned 30 on January 8th. Happy belated birthday.
Happy belated.
Happy belated birthday.
I'm so happy that we chose her for our first episode because I know how passionate she is about breaking the barrier for women in gaming. In her 100 Thieves interview, she said that she wants to be a role model for girls.
About I love girls, I love girls, I love girls, I love girls. And I want to be a role model to them and inspire them and let them know that gaming is literally just gaming and it's not a big deal and it shouldn't be gatekept because of who a person is.
And let them know that gaming should not be gatekept, which I completely agree with. It's so frustrating that still in 2022 that gaming is gatekept. But I'm getting ahead of myself. If you've been living under a rock and don't know who Valkyrae is, she's known as the Queen of YouTube with over 3.6 million followers and a co-owner of 100 Thieves and 2020's Content Creator of the Year.
And the Game Award goes to Valkyrae. Congratulations.
Thank you so much to the Game Awards for nominating me and to all of my friends and family and fans and my loving community.
These accomplishments may seem out of reach, but she started out just like one of us. She had a loving family, even though her father worked all the time and struggled with alcoholism. And to compensate for that, her mother encouraged Ray to do what made her the happiest and gave her an escape, which luckily for us was gaming. Now, I know that we're all gamers here, obviously. Was gaming for you guys like a form of escapism, or did you have like another hobby that you guys did instead when you were young?
For me, gaming was always a form of like escapism for sure. I remember I would like sit in my room and just close my door and play games like SSX Tricky, SSX3. I had like an old Finding Nemo game, which was really, really fun. I mean, I had a little bit of everything. It's always like some of my fondest memories definitely was playing like my old Xbox to like escape.
I don't know why what you just said unlocked my brain. There used to be a SpongeBob game for PC. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but oh my god, that game took over my life. And I'm so
You
sad that I
just
don't have
triggered
it
a
to
memory
yeah.
of me because there's an old SpongeBob game for Xbox that I played insanely, which was Battle for, or I think it's Battle for Bikini Bottom,
Maybe that's what it
and
was.
it's the best. It's the best, man.
If you guys don't know what it is, look it up. But what about you, Haley?
Probably making YouTube videos. I used to make vlogs all the time.
Oh my gosh, really?
And
I didn't know that about
yeah,
you.
yeah, I don't do it as much because I started doing like wedding videos and it just like I kind of lost my interest in it, but I want to get to it again.
Nice.
That would be awesome. I would say mine was probably mainly music. I did start gaming when I was younger, but I don't know, music that can like transform your mood and really transcend you to a different place, and that's kind of what I use. But I still always love gaming. I was more like either my Game Boy or like stupid Disney games on your PC. You know, like the
Yeah.
Disney Channel games or whatever. It wasn't until Sammy that I actually started the gaming, like probably your more mainstream games on like consoles and stuff like that.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, so that was like 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah, I actually still remember when we played Heavy Rain. That was like I think one of the first games I remember playing with you.
Oh my gosh, that freaking game. Oh, till this day I have not finished it because it was so frustrating.
Oh, you got to get with it. I finished it 3 times.
Oh
Get with
my
it.
God. I think I messed it up and you can't start over. I was like so close
Yeah.
to the end and I tried to like turn off my console so it wouldn't like save the progress. I tried to, I don't know if it's a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 or whatever it was. I tried to
think it's a
turn it off,
3, yeah.
but then it saved the progress anyways. And I was like, you know what? F this game. I can't do this anymore. Alright, well, back to this. We now know her as Valkyrae, but her OG fans knew her as Legends of Ray on Instagram. I believe she had like 15,000 followers. And at that point, her small following had encouraged her to start streaming on Twitch. In 2015, she explains that she was really depressed when she first started and wasn't very productive, but she was really determined to change that for herself and start to build a community that watched her not just for the games, but for herself. Within 6 months of that, she became successful enough to quit her job at GameStop. That is crazy. Can you guys imagine that?
Honestly, that's the dream. I always wish
Yeah.
that I can wake up and be like, "Oh, look, I don't need my day-to-day job. I'm famous now." Jeez.
Like having your own schedule would be so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we, have a goal to become content creators, our own bosses and things like that. But yeah, that was awesome that she made that happen in a 6-month time span. That seems
yeah.
almost impossible now.
Is that not the American dream to become an entrepreneur?
That was tough. Then Fortnite came out. Have you guys played Fortnite?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it was my first PC game. I honestly don't know why I stopped playing it. I think I got my first win and I was like, okay, I'm done with this game. I've accomplished
Yep,
my
that's it.
goals.
Peaked.
I peaked. I can never get better than this. I feel that. What about you, Sammy?
Honestly, I played like season 4 through like season 7, season 8, and I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I did play around the time where people were starting to get better at the game, so there was still the noobs that ran around like me, thinking they could build and they couldn't. But it was that weird transition period where people started to really learn the mechanics, both PC and console, to where you think you're picking a fight with little Jimmy in a house, and then it turns into a mansion, and you're scared for your life. So, I stopped playing around that time that people started to get really, really good at building.
Yeah, I've never played because honestly, it's confusing to me, and anything that's like overly complicated just freaks me out. I don't feel like I have the potential to succeed, so I don't even try.
You know what?
Might be a
Normally, I
character
like to
flaw, but-
encourage and be like, "No, you got it." But Fortnite is just like a whole different beast, and I'm gonna sit down from this one.
We're gonna take a step back. But because of that change, I think Valkyrae was like one of the first people to start streaming the game. Like she hopped on that train really fast. Her views jumped from a couple hundred to thousands. Many orgs were reaching out to her, but she decided to partner with 100 Thieves. In January 2020, Ray decided to leave Twitch and switch to YouTube for more stability. It was a difficult move because she didn't want to make her Twitch followers feel like she was abandoning them. I feel like that must have taken a lot of courage. Like, I think about streaming on YouTube now, but I don't want to lose like my 900 followers. So I can't even imagine how big of a deal it was for her to leave. Would you guys ever make that decision, or have you thought about streaming on YouTube now instead of Twitch?
Honestly, like I've been on Twitch for a while. I'm just like used to Twitch, so I don't know if I would be able to move to YouTube. I think maybe if I had like a big following, but for now, I'd probably just keep the Twitch. Also, I feel like it's kind of harder to be discovered if you just stream off YouTube.
I mean, I actually kind of agree, and that says a lot because Twitch isn't really good for discoverability, but YouTube, there is just so many algorithms at play with how aggressive it is, and people already found their niche already. It is kind of hard to start there. So, I mean, it kind of says a lot about YouTube that Twitch can still be a little friendlier, in my opinion, for discoverability.
Yeah, but I do pose this question to you guys. Most people use outside sources like YouTube or TikTok, Twitter, things like that to grow their Twitch platform, right? Because Twitch discoverability is trash.
No, I agree, but don't you think that the people on YouTube already have some homies that are already backing them up and it makes it a little bit easier? Because, like, I find that's kind of aggressive, the algorithm they have.
No, it is. I think the algorithm can shoot you in the foot, but what if you just use the same platforms, these same outside platforms, Twitch?
Yeah, yeah, and then did
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, like I feel like
Yeah.
maybe it could be like I debate it all the time, right? Because I think eventually if Twitch doesn't get their stuff together, maybe one day I'll want to go to YouTube, and I'm just sitting here like, do I want to make the transition now so I can build on YouTube and maintain that audience, or do I want to take the risk of leaving, people that have supported me to go on this new venture? And so for months, Valkyrae was really unsure if she made the right decision. But because she was so worried about the change, she did what she always did, which was to use gaming as an escape. And that's made her more successful on YouTube than she ever anticipated because she was streaming more. So I find that
Yeah.
really funny how that worked out for her.
Oh, for sure. And I find that too, that there's more freedom for partners on YouTube than there is on Twitch, because the partnership contract on Twitch like makes you stream a certain amount of hours, and it's not always easy to meet those like demands. And I find that on YouTube they have more freedom, so content creators are typically happier over there. Like I see people like Tim the Tap Man that just moved over, and Courage JD, who's also the co-owner of 100 Thieves as well. They just seem a lot happier on YouTube, being able to have the freedom and flexibility that they have for content creation.
Yeah, and the great thing about YouTube is that you can set your own price for your sub,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, and you get more AdSense, things like that, which Twitch, if you don't get anything for your AdSense, like at all, because they don't
Yeah.
tailor their ads. So,
No.
this all of a sudden turned from a podcast about Valkyrae to switch over to YouTube. Twitch sucks.
I mean, but it's true though. It kind of reflects like her decision to move over, and she even mentioned it that it was hard for her to stream at first. She was going through some mental health issues, and that kind of streaming didn't really benefit to her style. And it's an important conversation.
Right, and I know she needed to do more like for her family. She takes care of her mom and stuff like that since her mom took care of her when she was younger. So I'm glad that it ended up working out for her. Then came Among Us, which Ray took the opportunity to do a bunch of collabs with many popular streamers. Did you guys play Among Us?
I used to play Among Us with my family. I think it's fun. I don't understand it now because they added so many features. But yeah, I think it's pretty fun.
Did they? I haven't played it in such a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think that was the first game that we played together after like a long time. And it was so stressful. It made my palms sweat and my stomach
Yeah.
hurt. And I hated being imposter. I liked the game itself, but I was very happy doing the task and not killing people because it was just making me nervous.
Was it Among Us or was it Phasmophobia?
I think it was Among Us and then it was
Maybe.
Phasmophobia. Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to play Among Us. I think it was April 2020 that my brother JJ, he lives in Japan, so we don't really get to talk very often, but he introduced me to the game. And so we would talk and play all the time. And then a couple months after like he introduced me, I started seeing like all the big streamers like play it, and I was addicted. I remember I had a full-time job. I had to get up at 6 a.m. to go to work. I was up until like 3 or 4 a.m. playing Among Us with random people. It wasn't even with my friends at that point. It was literally with fucking randoms. I was freaking addicted to that
It was
game.
down bad. I remember hearing about that a lot. Like, yeah, you don't know. Like, I'll play this while I'm at work.
Yeah. If you guys could play with one of the popular streamers who played Among Us, who would it be?
It's kind of a little teaser into the next week's episode, but I would love to play with Lulu and the group of Apex pros that they play Among Us with, because it's really funny seeing them play a game that isn't as competitive and still seeing them get so competitive over it. It's really funny.
Really? I've never watched them play. I gotta catch something.
Yeah, it's like a group of them that play like no Cocoa Puffs and Daltouche. Like when they get together and play those games, it's really, really funny.
So I started off watching Among Us with like OTV and everyone. So I'd like to play with them. I think it would be so fun. Like watching them play, their connection seems so fun.
That
But
matters in a game like Among Us for sure. The chemistry.
yeah, but I gotta say, Corpse has been.
What up, baby?
Just letting you know, Poppy Corpse.
If I had to pick one, it might be Corpse. Yeah, I think for similar reasons that she says Corpse, I'd probably say Saikuno.
I respect that, you know? I respect it.
He's so
Honestly, Saikuno is so good at the game.
yes, he's such a
Yeah,
troll,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've become very fond of just that stupidness, you know?
Yeah.
It brings more interest. It makes it like less competitive because he's just throwing random stuff out there that you don't even know if he's telling the truth. So you can't even like
Yeah.
begin to try to like detect what's going on. You just have to be like, okay, fuck it. I feel like sometimes I have a problem with control. So playing with someone like that might be beneficial to me.
Yeah, I would.
You guys want to know something funny? When I first started doing research on Ray, it was like the beginning of October 2021, maybe the end of like September. At this point, she didn't have any major controversies, but like almost thankfully, I had my own personal issues that we postponed the first episode up until now, months later, because towards the end of October, that would have literally aged our podcast like instantly. This episode would
Yeah.
no longer be freaking relevant. Do you guys know about the scandal that she recently got into?
I learned a little bit about it. Yes, yes. I'm still learning details, but I got an idea.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. I didn't understand it, but then I saw other people talking about it.
Yeah, so late October, Ray posted to Twitter about her new skincare brand Reflect. It claims to prevent damage from blue light, and the problem with that is that there isn't any research that was released to show how this product would actually help against that. The brand linked third-party articles and like WebMD that listed why blue light
Oh,
was
no.
dangerous for you, but refused to show how their product would combat these things. And because Ray was the face of the company, she got all the backlash for it. Now, my question to you guys is how responsible do you think influencers should be over the products that they endorse?
I feel like at a certain level, there is a decent amount of responsibility that is put on her, mainly for the reason that she's the face of an esports organization. You know, like she's not just a normal content creator that is just out here streaming, which is still just as respectable. It's just when you put a name like 100 Thieves behind you, it kind of holds you up to a little bit higher of a standard for representation, because not only are you representing yourself, you're representing one of the most respected organizations in gaming. Because when you hear 100 Thieves, you kind of think of like TSM, you think of FaZe Clan, you think of NRG and TSM, and 100 Thieves is definitely up there. But at the same time, I don't think it's exactly fair that she got all the backlash, because I actually remember Haley, what she mentioned is that the company that she was representing kind of benefited from her being the scapegoat.
I kind of think they like scammed her instead of like her trying to scam her like
Fans.
viewers.
Oh yeah,
Her fans, yeah. If they sent her all this proof, she's gonna read it and believe it. I think she should have done more like research on it instead of just like listening to them. But it's like they're kind of like the face of what they're promoting. The thing is, it's kind of hard for like products to just like be like, oh, here's my product without having someone big promote it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
they used to use like celebrities, and then they realized that even though they can still do that, it's actually more popular to reach to an audience of people who like, actually feel like they have a personal connection with who's endorsing the product, I think. So that's why I feel like
Yeah.
there's been less like celebrity collabs unless they're like really in the limelight. It's been more, what would you even consider content creators? I feel like they're like C-list celebrities, right? Like they're,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
well known.
Some are a little higher on the food chain, you know, but
Yeah.
definitely.
And that's why, for the most part, I think that influencers should be responsible for any product that they endorse, because they hold such a power over their viewers where people feel close to them, and that emotional closeness makes people want to support them, sometimes blindly so, and they purchase products that, if they don't work or do what they claim, it's tricking your viewers. And sometimes these influencers have really young fan bases. So they're using their parents' money, and they're so naive that they don't know where it's actually going to, or they care. They just want to support, hey, this is my favorite person in the whole world. So I do feel like content creators, influencers, whatever you want to call them, should definitely be held responsible. For those of you listening, if you didn't know about the situation, she did say that she saw the research that the company did. Like, they did studies in their own labs, and what she had seen was groundbreaking, but she totally understands that people can't just take her word for it. Because they refuse to release it to the public. So she really wishes that she could step away from the project, and she won't say exactly that she can't or why she couldn't, but we're kind of assuming that it's because of a contract. So that's why Haley feels like they kind of took advantage of her, because they showed her the proof, but they never said that, you know,
Yes.
the proof wouldn't be given to the public, and now she's getting all the hate for it.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of feeds into the fact that Valkyrae she's pretty young. And unfortunately, like in the world of business, they try to take advantage of things like that, maybe being a little bit naive. And I'm interested to see what kind of deals she takes in the future to
Yeah.
kind of prevent this mistake from happening again. You know, like kind of maybe demand to see a little bit more concrete results and be like, if you're going to show me this, make sure you can show everyone else this.
Yeah, I bet a lot that she's gonna be really, like, really careful from now on, because Ray's scam was taken so much more seriously than, like, some of the other influencers who have done, in my opinion, some things that are, like, way worse. You know, you can debate whether you think that she knew it was a scam or not. I'm choosing to take her word for it, that she saw research. You know, that's just my thing. What were you gonna say, hey?
And I think it was taken more seriously because a lot of other big streamers were talking about it, like Miss Kiff and like Kazan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's another reason why it was taken a lot more serious.
So you think they, like, fed the fire, you think? Like, unintentionally. Obviously, most people don't want to hurt their big streamer friends and things like that, but you think them reporting on it maybe fed the fire of people finding out about it and hating her for it? Or...
I mean, at a certain point, just talking about it in general with your fan base, knowing that it is kind of big, definitely, I feel like it does. Whether it was intentional or not, even if you used it to defend her, it's still drawing attention to it. But sometimes attention can be good and it could be bad.
Now, the question is then, also as a creator, do you think it's your responsibility to point out fellow creators and the things that they've done wrong, or do you think it's better, like, on a personal level, to stay out of it?
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's a good question because it feeds into a lot of other controversies with other people. Like a little random, but that literally just happened to like the Ned's Declassified cast. They didn't really speak up on something that wasn't really correct. That one of the other cast members did, and then they got in trouble for it. So that's a really good question.
I think a lot of these other like streamers just talked about it because they're like fans who are like asking them about it.
That's
So,
true.
like,
Twitch chat's always going to talk about it, and at
yeah.
a certain point, as a streamer, you can't ignore what 70% of your chat is talking about. You have to
Yeah,
acknowledge
I think
it.
that's like the mostly why they like started talking about it.
That makes sense.
I think it like depends. Like I feel like if I'm involved in it, then yeah, I'll talk about it. But if it's like between like someone else, I wouldn't, you know?
Yeah, I get that. Unfortunately, sometimes I find that that can shoot you in the foot, which
yeah.
is such a touchy like thing, whether you speak up on something or you don't. Because nowadays, I feel like you're expected to speak up if you have a platform, especially about any form of like injustices or whatnot. So it's kind of
I think it depends on the situation.
that's true, and I agree with you 100%. Not everybody else does is the sad part.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a double-edged sword. Especially for this, I feel like I don't know. It's so hard because in this situation, I don't know if I would have spoken up. Like, if I'm, let's say, Valkyrae's friend and this happens, I don't know if I would have tried to bring, like, more attention to it, because
Yeah, in this specific situation, I agree.
in other situations where things are, like, very blatant scams, or maybe there was racism or any sort of ableism, anything else involved, I think I would be more inclined to speak up against that, because
Absolutely.
you know, I wouldn't want someone even in my friend group who believes in stuff like that, or so willing to scam their fans, especially if they're like a younger fan base, things like that. So I think it definitely depends on the situation, but
I think personally, if I was her friend, I would talk to her about it rather than like talking about it on my like live or something.
For sure.
yeah, I think that would be the best way to go, especially because you know how the internet can be. I can't even imagine if we do end up being able to be content creators full time. Like, I remember one of my TikTok videos, it got taken down for freaking hate speech, or not hate speech, for bullying and harassment or whatever. But it got to like 120 100,000 views or something like that, and people are just being so mean to me. That was like, it was really hard. And I can't imagine if it was like, that was just me during the game, right? But could you imagine that's about like your personality or like you as a person? That would be really difficult to deal
Yeah.
with. Regardless, people were not very happy with her apology. They really felt that she was shifting the blame because I can't remember what her original title was, but she ended up talking to them and pretty much they came up with like her being able to call herself a co-founder of that brand. And then all of a sudden, once everything went down, she then was like, oh no, like I was just looking over, you know, approving like cents and things like that. Like I'm not really a co-founder. So they felt like that part was a little sketchy, which I can understand.
Yeah.
Now, I personally thought she'd take like a longer break from posting and things like that, just given everything that's going on. But it looks like she's created 2 other YouTube accounts and has been posting content and going live. Even though part of me wonders if any further reflect comments are being restricted, because I can't find any backlash or anything about her brand on her new accounts or her main account, anything like that. But I do know a couple content creators will create like smaller accounts to get away from hate. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Is because they think like their most loyal followers will follow the smaller account, and that way they can post without, you know, getting harassed, which is
Yeah,
kind of
that's
understandable.
true.
Regardless of that, you know, I personally look up to Ray. I'm sure a lot of people do. I really hope that she learns from this disaster and continues to be a better content creator and influencer from here on out. Like Sammy said, I'm very interested to see, you know, what she'll come out with next or what she'll endorse or, you know, if she'll take a pause on that for a little while.
Yeah.
So that was our deep dive into Valkyrae's career so far. Sammy kind of already told us, but who's going to be the next episode?
I said no such thing.
No such
Okay, I
thing.
might have said such a thing. Next week, it's gonna be the Kraber Queen herself,
Ooh,
Lulu Lovely.
yeah.
She's kind of the goat. I'm excited to talk about her, and we'll see a deep dive on her.
Cool. I know nothing about her really. Like I've seen her TikToks, but that's pretty much it. So I'm personally very excited to learn more about her. Please let us know if you guys have any requests for future podcast episodes. If you want to see any creators on here. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, my name is Alexis Jordan98 on Twitch if you want to follow me.
You can follow me over at twitchtv.samjambro.
And you can find me at twitch.tv/lowpixie with 2 X's.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.